Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Mridul Tiwari, and coming up is the next chapter of our mind map series, which is Morphology of Flowering Plants. So it's quite an important chapter for your NEET as well as class 11th exam, and we are going to study this chapter through this mind map. And we are also going to study all the examples that are very much important in this chapter, okay? Because example based questions are very common from this chapter in the NEET exams, okay? So let's start with the with the title of the video, with the title of the chapter. The title is Morphology of Flowering Plants. So what is flowering plant? The plant that has flowers, which is basically we are talking about angiosperms. Okay, so we are talking about angiosperms. And what is morphology? The word morphology means study of external structure. Okay, so we are going to study external structure of flowering plant, or you can say angiosperms. Okay, so this is the name of chapter we are going to study. Okay, so we are going to study a plant, and the base of plant is obviously root. So root is the first topic here, and there are different type of root. But first, let's come to structure of the root. Okay, root looks like quite a bit like this, and there are three regions in the root. The last part of the root, which is in the deepest of the soil, is called root cap. Root cap is a thimble or thumb shape structure. Okay, the way your thumb is, it is a thumb shape structure, and it protects the root tip. The root tip is the region of meristematic activity. Now wherever you study the meristem term, meristem, meristem means the tissue which can divide, or you can say the tissue in which cells can divide. Tissue which divides, in which cells can divide, you can say it. The word meristem means, the word meristem is basically a tissue whose cells can divide. Okay, this is the perfect sentence, whose cell can divide. So just above root cap is the region of meristematic activity. So in this region we see a lot of cell division. Okay, just above the region of meristematic activity we have region of elongation. In the region of elongation the cells elongate and they start to get mature. Okay, so the region of elongation is responsible for increasing length of the root. Okay, and above the region of elongation we have region of maturation at the top. In the region of maturation we have root hairs, and we have the cells are matured. Okay, the cells are matured, they do not divide and they do not elongate, they are mature cells, and these this region have root hairs. So this is a very common question. Root hair always arise from region of maturation, and root hair absorbs water and minerals. Okay, this is the work of root hairs. So when we say that the work of root is to absorb and absorb water and mineral, the actual the work of absorbing water and mineral is done by root hairs. Okay, so this is the structure of root you have to study. And now coming to different types of roots. So there are three types of root. The first is called tap root, which is like this root that you are seeing here. Okay, this is kind of a tap root. Okay, so in tap root, if we take an figure, one root is this long and strong root, and then there are secondary roots arising from this root, and there are tertiary roots arising from secondary roots. Okay, this is the structure of taproot system. Taproot system always have one strong and long root which goes deep inside the soil. Okay, so tap roots are found in dicot plants. This is a very important question. Tap roots are also found in the dicot plant. For example, mustard. In mustard, you can see tap roots. The fibrous root system. In fibrous root system, the tap root, this strong root does not exist. Okay, this tap root system quite bit looks like this. So if we see, this is the soil, this is the surface, and below surface you will see fiber types of structures. Many thin and small leaf, large in number. Okay, there are many number of thin and small leaves. This is called the fibrous root. Okay, and it is found in monocots. Example, wheat is a monocot, so fibrous root will be seen in wheat. Coming to adventitious roots. So adventitious roots are root that arise from any other part of the plant than radicle. Now what is radicle? So let's understand this because it's important. What is radicle? So when you see a seed, for example, take a gram seed. Okay, all you have seen the gram seed. It kinds of looks like this. Okay, and there is a kind of crease made here. Now if you split this seed, okay, you can see something like this. Let's make something a simple type, something like this. If you split the seed, now this red part that I am drawing in the middle, this red part is called as embryonal axis. Embryonal axis. So it is a sprouted seed. Okay, when you take a seed and keep it in a bowl of water overnight, it sprouts. Okay, so this is a sprouted gram seed, and in a sprouted gram seed, when you open up or split the seed, you can see embryonal axis. Now embryonal axis have two parts. Let's erase this part, and this red thing whole is called embryonal axis. Just kind of, let's see, this is the embryonal axis. Now embryonal axis have two parts. The upper part is called plumule, and the lower part is called radicle. Okay, radicle. The plumule gives rise to the shoot system, or you can say stem arises from the plumule, and radicle gives rise to the roots. Okay, so in all type of plants, the roots always arise from radicle, except the adventitious root. So this is all you must have to understand to get the point of the adventitious root. This all things that you have to understand, and now you can understand the adventitious roots. So what are adventitious roots? They arise from any other part than radicle. So they do not arise from radicle. Generally all type of roots arise from radicle, but adventitious roots do not arise from radicle. So they can arise from any other part other than radicle. For example, in grass, in monstera and banyan tree, adventitious roots are found. And banyan tree is the most common. You have already seen the roots which are known as prop roots in banyan tree, something like this. Let's say this is a banyan tree, and this is a branch of banyan tree. Okay, this is a branch here. Okay, from the branches you can see these are the things, these are the roots arising from the branches. Okay, so these are the roots arising from the branches. So these are adventitious roots, since they are not arising from the radicle, they are arising from the branch of the banyan tree, and that's why we call them as adventitious roots. And these, in case of banyan tree, these are called as prop roots. Prop roots. Okay, all this is written in the next pages, so you don't have to worry and write each of these things. To understand, it was important to give an example for you to understand. Okay, so adventitious roots are roots that arise from any other part than radicle, and they are seen in grass, monstera and banyan tree. Coming to modification. So roots are modified in different form, for example, for support, for storage and for respiration. For example, prop roots of banyan tree, as I already made you understand what are prop roots. Okay, so prop roots in banyan tree, basically they help in what we say support of the plant, because the banyan tree is a huge tree, so it needs extra support for their branches. That's why from branch new roots arise, and those are called prop roots. Stilt roots are seen in sugarcane, and these are also for support. And let's see the stilt root also. For example, if you draw a sugarcane here, and you can see sugarcane is kind of divided into these nodes and internodes. Okay, you will understand in the following pages what are nodes and internodes. But you have seen sugarcane, and the stick of sugarcane is divided kind of like this. Now these are called nodes. These parts are called node. And in the last node, for example, here this is the last node. From the last node there are roots arising from the last nodes. These are called as stilt roots. These are stilt roots. So stilt roots are seen in sugarcane, and also in maize they are seen, maize and they are also for support. They arise from the basal, or you can say last node present in the plant. Okay, so these are modification type of root: prop root and stem root. And now coming to carrot and turnip. Carrot and turnip and sweet potato, these are roots which are used for storage. Okay, sweet potato is kind of a root, you have to understand this. Sweet potato is a important example. Okay, it's commonly asked and it is important, very important. So you must understand and learn this, that carrot, turnip and sweet potato are used for storage. And there are a special type of roots called pneumatophores. Now pneumatophores are a special type of roots found in a rhizophora plant, and they are used for respiration. If you want to understand how they are used, the rhizophora plants, they uh, they grow in a place which is very kind of marshy and very wet and dry, wet type of place. So the let's say this is the tree of rhizophora. Okay, the roots of rhizophora go under the ground and they come above like this. Okay, this is a root of rhizophora, and this is the root which we call as pneumatophore. Since they come out of the ground and they do respiration, that's why we call them as uh, pneumatophores, and they respire for the plant. Okay, so these are different types of modification of the roots. Now coming to stem modification, sorry, coming to stem. So we have understand root. Now coming to stem. Now what are stem? You can identify stem by looking nodes and internodes. If you have a stick, like this, and on this stick you can see nodes and internodes, then we call this as stem. What is node? Node is the place where leaf is born. Okay, wherever the leaf is born, that place is called node, and distance between two nodes is called internode. So basically you can say these two things are nodes. This is a node. Okay, and this is a node. And what is internode? The distance between two nodes. This is internode. Okay, and presence of node and internode is a like essential criteria on a stem. So you can identify a stem using nodes and internodes. Okay, now coming to modification of stems. Modification. The first modification is storage. For storage, potato, ginger, okay, turmeric, jameen kand, colocasia. These are the plants basically which are used for in which stems are used for storage, as a storage organ. And potato is very important since it is easily asked, and others are also important. Okay, because all of them are kind of once or one or another time they are all asked in NEET exam. Okay, so all the examples are very important. That's why I have written all examples of the morphology of the flowering plant. They are very important. Okay, so storage, talking about storage, potato, ginger, turmeric, jamaican, then colocasia are the stems that perform the function of storage, and these also act as organ of perennation. Now what is meant by organ of perennation? Perennation means continuity. Okay, the word perennation means here continuity. So let's take an example, then you will understand what is organ of perennation. For example, this is a area where potato plants are there. Okay, this is the potato. Okay, and this is a potato. Okay, now let's see, due to any reason, for example due to forest fire, this whole plant is destroyed. Okay, and whole forest is destroyed. But since there is potato inside the soil, so it will not affected by the fire, and using this potato a new plant will be formed here. Okay, so this is the potato is basically acting as an organ of perennation, or it is acting as a part which can continue the life of potato. That's why we call it as an organ of perennation, or due to, because it continues, it acts as a continuity. Okay, in the adverse condition, potato can help the plant to grow again. That's why it is known as organ of perennation. Okay, so this is the meaning of organ of perennation. Now coming to second modification, which is support. Tendrils and Okay, are only tendrils are there. Tendrils are the stem modification that are used for support, and they develop from axillary bud. Important point. This is a very important point. Tendrils always develop from axillary bud. Okay, they are used for support. Example: cucumber, okay, pumpkin, watermelon, and grape vine. You can easily see tendrils in these plants. Now, what is axillary bud? Okay, because you will be confused here. What is axillary bud? So let's say this is a plant and this is a leaf here. This is a leaf here. So in the in this corner of stem and leaf, a bud is formed. This bud is called as axillary bud. Okay, so axillary bud is formed in the corner of leaf and the stem. Okay, this is the axillary bud, and the tendrils are the modification of axillary bud. Okay, now coming to third point, protection. Thorns are used in protection in the plant, and they also develop from axillary bud. So this is the important point, that both tendrils and thorns are developed from axillary bud. Example, we have bougainvillea and citrus. Thorns are seen in the bougainvillea and citrus plants. Okay. Now coming to two special modification. In opensia, the stem becomes flat and starts doing photosynthesis. So in opensia, there is no leaf doing photosynthesis. Okay, the stem starts doing photosynthesis, and that's why it becomes flat. Does photosynthesis. Okay, this is a special modification in opensia. In euphorbia, the stem becomes cylindrical. So stem is cylindrical in euphorbia and flat in opensia, and these are important modification that you are uh, it also does photosynthesis. Okay, the stem of euphorbia also does photosynthesis. Both have the same work. In the stem of opensia and euphorbia, they are modified for photosynthesis, doing photosynthesis. Okay, now this is the all about stem, and now we come to the leaf. So we are basically studying morphology of the flowering plants, or we are studying the organs and how they look, and what are their modification. These are the things we are studying. So the coming to leaf, the first thing we are going to study in the leaf is the structure of leaf. Now here you can see I have already shown you what is the axillary bud. Okay, and let's see first the structure of leaf. This is a stem and this is the leaf that has arrived. Now this green part that I am covering of the leaf, this is what we call as lamina. Lamina is the part of the leaf where sunlight is received and photosynthesis is done. Okay, so this is the part, basically uh, the plain and you can say the spreading part of the leaf is called lamina. Okay, on lamina you can say veins and a midrib. Midrib is the middle line, which is you can see here. This is the midrib, and veins are the small lines all over the leaf. So veins and midribs are on the lamina. Okay, now the place where stem and leaf is attached is called leaf base. Sorry, is called leaf base. This is the place where both are attached. Okay, now the stalk, or you can say the stick, which basically joins the lamina and the stem, this is called petiole. So petiole is the stick that you when you pluck a leaf. Okay, you also pluck a petiole with it. Okay, so petiole is the part, or you can say a stalk, which joins lamina and the stem. Between lamina and the between the petiole and the stem, you can say in between the corner of a leaf and the stem is the axillary bud. Okay, now axillary bud can make thorn, tendril, as well as branches. Okay, so this is the one example you have to also learn. It can make thorn and tendrils also. Okay, thorn and tendrils, it can modify into thorn and tendrils also, but generally it makes branches, because you cannot you don't see thorn and tendrils in all plants. Okay, branches you can see in all the plants. So this is the structure of the leaf. Now what are pulvinous leaf base? Pulvinous leaf base, so in the plants of pulses, you can see all the pulses in the plants of legume plants. Okay, what are leguminous plants? The plants of pulses, you have seen all the for example gram. Okay, in leguminous plants we have gram plant, and We have arhar, if you know what is it. uh, Arhar, all type of pulses basically come in leguminous plants. Sorry, arhar. Okay, so these are the plants that come in the leguminous plants. In leguminous plants, you see that leaf base becomes swollen, and this swollen leaf base is called as pulvinous leaf base. So pulvinous leaf base are seen in the leguminous plants. Okay, coming to the types of leaf. So there are two types of leaf, simple and compound. The simple leaf, for example, you have seen the leaf of mango, it is something like this. Okay, this is a simple leaf. The compound leaf, you can see in compound leaf there are many leaflets. For example, the leaf of a neem, something like this. If you've seen a neem plant, okay, the leaf of a neem plant is something like this. So these small structures then that I am drawing are not leaf, they are leaflets. These are leaflets. Okay, these are leaflets, and this whole structure is leaf. So in compound, leaflets are found. Okay, uh, so there are two types of compound leaf: pinnately compound leaf and palmatory compound leaf. In pinnately compound leaf, we have neem, and in palmatory compound leaf, which have silk cotton. So you already know what is the leaf. Okay, how the leaf of neem looks like. In case of silk cotton, now silk cotton is a single plant. Do not break it in the two plants and silk and cotton. No, silk cotton is a single type of plant. Okay, the a leaf of a silk cotton is something like this. Okay, something like this. That's why we call it's a palmatory compound leaf, looking like palm of our hand. Okay, in pinnately compound leaf, the leaves are arranged one here and one opposite side. Okay, opposite to each other, and that's why we call as pinnately compound leaf, just like our pinna of the ear. Okay, you have seen our ears, they are opposite to each other. Okay, so pinna of an ear, that's why we call as pinnately. Now first coming to modification. Modification, the tendrils which are seen in pea, spines which are seen in cactus, storage for onion and garlic. In onion and garlic, the part that you eat is basically leaf. Okay, this is the storage. Leaves act as a storage organ in kind of in uh, onion and garlic. Now here you can see spine and thorn. These are two different words. Okay, thorn and spine. These are two different words. Spine arises from leaf, but thorn arises from axillary bud. Okay, axillary bud. So thorn and spine are different. Do not confuse them as same. Spines arise from leaf. They are modification of leaf, and thorns are modification of axillary bud. However, in Hindi, we say kata for both of these. Okay, kata for spine and kata is for thorn. So in Hindi we do not differentiate, but in English we differentiate. Okay, in the thorns are that arise from axillary bud, and spines are arise from the leaf. So after storage, there is one more special modification of Australian acacia. It is a like very uh, good plant. In Australia's acacia, the leaf is short leaf. So leaf basically arises and then diminishes and then dies. Okay, so leaf is very short lived; it does not survive, and the petiole or the stalk that was joining lamina and the stem of the leaf, petiole expand. Okay, and do photosynthesis. So this is a special case in which petiole is doing photosynthesis instead of leaf, and also you have seen stem doing photosynthesis in case of euphorbia and opuntia. Okay, now after all the things, we first come to venation, then we will study the next thing. Venation, what is venation? As I have told you that in leaf there is one midrib and there are many veins and veins found. Okay, the arrangement of veins and veins on lamina is called as venation. There are two type of venation: reticulate venation, which is seen in dicot, and the word reticulate means kind of net. Okay, kind of a web. So in dicots, you see the lamina is kind of like this. It is a woven in form of a net. Okay. In parallel venation, which is found in monocot, the veins and veinlets run parallel to each other. So the in parallel plants you can see the leaf is kind of like this. Okay, venation is very easy. Now coming to phyllotaxy. What is phyllotaxy? A pattern of arrangement of leaf. The pattern of arrangement of leaf on a stem is called phyllotaxy. Okay, this there is three type of. The first is alternate, in alternate type of phyllotaxy, one node gives rise to one leaf. Okay, this one node gives rise to one leaf, this one node gives rise to one leaf, this one node gives rise to one leaf. So in alternate phyllotaxy, one node always gives rise to only one leaf. It is seen in China rose, mustard and sunflower. You can remember this by CMS. Okay, China rose, mustard and sunflower. In opposite type of phyllotaxy, each node gives rise to two different leaves. They are kind of oppositely arranged to each other. Okay, pardon my English. So in opposite type of phyllotaxy, the leaves are born opposite to each other, and two leaves are born on each node. That's why that's called opposite, and calotropis guava are the example. In world type of phyllotaxy, leaves are born, many leaves are born from the single nodes. So here you can say 5 leaves are born from the single node. This is called as world phyllotaxy, and Elstonia is the only example that is given in it. Okay, so this was the leaf, and coming to flower. Coming to flower. So let's study the structure of flower first. Flowers look something like this. Okay, this is a flower. This is my flower. Okay, as you've seen that petiole was the stalk which was joining the leaf and the stem. The pedicel is the stalk which joins flower and the stem. Okay, so petiole and pedicel, these are two different terms you have to remember. Petiole is the stalk of leaf and pedicel is the stalk of flower. Okay, when you give someone flower, you always make sure that it has a long pedicel. Okay, so pedicel is the stalk joining flower to the stem, and flower are born on thalamus. Basically, flower is a compound structure. It has many parts, and all these structures of the flower are born on the thalamus. Now, on thalamus, you see 4 parts of the flower: calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. Now, if calyx and corolla are fused to each other, they will look as a one. Okay, if calyx and corolla are fused, they are called as perianth. Okay, for example, in lily, in family Liliaceae, which was all earlier, which was in your syllabus, but it is not in your syllabus anymore. The family Liliaceae, so you don't have to study, but you have to know that in lily perianth is formed, because this is the part which is in the syllabus. So in lily, the calyx and corolla are fused, and together they are known as perianth. Okay. Also, one thing I want you to note here: androecium is the male sex organ here, male sex organ, and gynoecium is the female sex organ. Okay. Okay, no problem. Now there are many parts of the flowers which we have to study. The first is here bract. What is bract? Reduced leaf at the base of pedicel. At the base of pedicel, sometimes you can see there are small leaf-like structures. These are known as bract. Okay, in the base of pedicel, and on the basis of bract, there are two type of flowers. The one which have bract, which are called as bracteate. The one don't, those do not have bract, which they are called as abracteate. Okay. After all this, let's first study the uh, all type of whorls that are attached on the uh, thalamus. Okay, that is calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. Then we will come back to this page which we have not studied yet. Okay, because first you have to study the calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. Then you can understand this previous page. Okay. Now this calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium, these are together known as whorls. Okay, these are known as whorls. Now, the word whorl basically means arranged in a circular form. Okay, this basically means arranged in a circular form. Now, these circular form. So these calyx, corolla, endoecium and gynoecium, these are all arranged in a circular form on thalamus. That's why they are known as whorls. So there are 4 whorls in a flower: calyx, corolla, endoecium and gynoecium. The unit of calyx is sepals. So there are sepals which are arranged, and all those sepals together are called as calyx. Okay. Now, if the sepals are joined to each other, they are known as gamosepalous condition. And if the sepals are free, they are not joined to each other, it is called as polysepalous condition. Okay. Coming to corolla. The unit of corolla is petals. These are the multicolored and beautiful uh, section of the flowers that you can see. Okay. Parts of the flower that you can see. And the all the petals together on the flower are known as corolla. So the unit of corolla is petals. Okay. If the petals are joined to each other, we call them as gamopetalous condition, and if the petals are free, we call this a polypetalous condition. Okay. Now, after calyx, corolla, we have endoecium here. Have endoecium. The unit of endoecium is stamen. Stamen, structure of stamen is something like this. The lower stalk like or stick like part, it is known as filament, and the above part is called as anther. Anther is defined by 2 words. The anther is bilobed because it has 2 lobes, that is why it is called as bilobed, and it is diathecous because each lobe has 2 theca present in it. That's why it is called as diathecous. Now you have to remember that each lobe has 2 theca. One lobe has 2 theca, and there are 2 lobes, so there are total 4 theca. Okay, you have to multiply by 2 and there will be total of 4 theca. Okay, so anther is bilobed and diathecous. The word bilobed means there are 2 lobes in the anther, and diathecous means there are 2 theca in each lobe. Okay, theca basically means like a bag type of structure, or you can division. Okay, you can say that division, it is kind of division. Okay. Now, if stamen is joined to a petal, then it is called as epipetalous condition, and it is seen in brinjal. Okay. If stamen is joined to perianth, what is perianth? When calyx and corolla, that is sepal and petals, when they are fused, we together call them as perianth. Okay. So if stamen is joined with perianth, it is called as epiphyllous condition. And since perianth is seen in lily, we can also see epiphyllous condition in the lily. Okay, so stamen plus petals give rise to epipetalous condition, and stamen plus perianth gives rise to epiphyllous condition. Examples are very important. Now, bundles of stamen occurs in different bundles. For example, if all the stamen are arranged in one bundle, which is called as monoadelphous condition. Example, we have China rose. If all the stamen are bundled in 2 different bundles, okay, are arranged in 2 different bundles, we call them as diadelphous condition. Example P. And if there are many bundles of stamen, which we call them as polyadelphous condition. Example, we have citrus. Okay. So this is all about endoecium. And now coming to gynoecium. Gynoecium, the unit of gynoecium is carpel or pistil. Okay. So pistil and carpel both are the same thing. You can say pistil, you can say carpel. They don't have much of a difference at our studying level. Okay. So the unit of gynoecium is carpel or pistil. Now carpel or pistil, structure of carpel or pistil is something like this. The basal swollen part of carpel or pistil is called as ovary. So this is the base part, which is kind of a swollen and round part. This is ovary. The stalk which joins ovary to stigma is called as style, and the upper part is called as stigma. Stigma is the part where pollen grains land at the time of reproduction in the flowers. Okay. Now, carpel can be free or joined. If the carpels are free, we call as apocarpous condition. If they are joined to each other, we call them as syncarpous condition. Now coming to the previous page. Now this is why we need to understand the next page first before this page, because now you will be able to understand these things. Okay. On the basis of position of ovary, there are 3 types of flowers. Hypogynous flowers are the flowers in the ovary are superior. That is, ovary is above all other walls. So the endoecium or the carpel and carpel, the endoecium, the petals and sepals, these are all are below the ovary. That's why we call as ovary superior. So in hypogynous condition, the ovary is on the top and other all things are below it. That's we call as hypogynous condition. Okay, it is found in mustard, brinjal and China rose. Examples are very important. In perikynous condition, which is called as half inferior or half superior condition, in this the ovary is at the same level as the petals, as the sepals, or as the androecium. Okay, so when ovary is at the same level as to the other walls, it is called as perigynous condition. Example, plum, peach, and rose. Epigynous condition, the ovary is inferior. So ovary is inferior, basically ovary is below the all other walls. So all other walls, that is sepals, petals, and androecium, are above the ovary, and this is what we call as epigynous condition, and it is seen in guava and cucumber. Okay, so this kind of is favorite question on the NEET exam, so you must understand and learn this. Okay, now on the basis of number of flower whorls, there is many different type of flower. Trimerous flowers are the flowers in which the whorls are in three, multiple of three. Okay, I have written it in English, 3 multiple. You have to know that the flowers are in the whorls are in multiple of 3. Example, in trimerous flower, there will be 3 sepal, 3 petal. Okay, that's why, and 3 androecium. Okay, 3 stamen, you can say, huh? And 3 carpel or 3 pistil. Okay, so when all these are things in the 3 or in multiple of 3, it can be 6 also. Okay, in 3 and in multiple of 6. Okay, and for example, 3 sepal, 6 petal, and 9 stamen, or 3 carpel. So these are in the multiple of 3. So when the whorls are in 3 or in multiple of 3, we call them as trimerous flower. When the whorls uh, are in 4, multiple of 4 or 4, they are all called as tetramerous condition. And then when the whorls are in multiple of 5 or they are 5, we call them as pentamerous condition. Okay, the pattern of arrangement of flower is known as inflorescence. The inflorescence is of two types, racemose and cymose. Racemose inflorescence, the flowers are in acropetal order. That is, it is kind of something like this. Let's say this is a stem, and this one flower, this is other flower, this is other, this is other, this is other. So as you can see, when you are going to upward size, the size of the flower decreasing because the flowers on the upper side are younger. These upper flowers are younger. Okay, and these below the flowers, the flowers which are below, these are older. Okay, so this is what we call as acropetal order. So when the flowers are born in the acropetal order, something like this, it is called as racemose inflorescence. Okay, in cymose inflorescence, the flowers are born in basipetal order. That is, the younger flower are on the base. It is something like this. So let's say this is a uh, uh, tree, and on this is a one flower which is on the top. Okay, this is the other flower, these are the other flower, and these are the other flower. Okay, so here you can see the older flower is on the top. This is the older flower, and the younger flower, these are the younger flowers. Okay, the younger on the bottom. So this is what we call as cymose inflorescence, and the flowers are born in basipetal order. That is, older flower is on the top while younger flower is on the base or the bottom side. Okay, now flowers can be symmetrical or asymmetrical. There are 3 types of flowers are found based on the symmetry. Actinomorphic. Actinomorphic are the flowers which are the radially symmetrical, and by radial symmetry, which means something like this. Let's say this is a flower, and we can divide this flower in 2 equal halves in multiple planes. Okay, so this is what we call as radial symmetry, where we can divide the flower into 2 equal halves in multiple plane. Okay, mustard, datura, and chili are actinomorphic flower. In zygomorphic flower, which is bilateral symmetry, basically, in bilateral symmetry, the flower can be divided into 2 parts only by one plane. For example, we can divide this flower from this plane only, and it will result in 2 equal parts. Okay, from any other plane, from this plane, from this plane, the flower cannot be divided into 2 equal parts. So only one plane can divide flower into 2 equal parts, and this is what we call as bilateral symmetry. Example, pea, cucumber, bean, and cassia are bilateral symmetry. Okay, or zygomorphic flowers. We are also, as a human, okay, humans are also kind of bilateral symmetry. Okay, Asymmetric flowers, which do not have any symmetry, and there is one example of a symmetrical flower given in the NCERT, that is canna. Okay, this already we have seen. This is the only thing remaining. Estivation. Estivation is arrangement of sepals or petals with respect to each other, and there is four types of estivation. In volvate estivation, the arrangement is like this. These are the arrangement of sepals or petals in volvate estivation. Okay, so none of the petals or sepal overlap each other. So this is the volvate estivation, and it is seen in calotropis. In twisted estivation, arrangement of the flower is something like this. Okay, so one of the end of the petals or sepal basically overlap to the other end of the petals or sepal. This is what we call as twisted estivation. So this is twisted estivation seen in China rose, ladyfinger, and cotton. Okay, next is imbricate. What is imbricate? In imbricate of flower, overlapping is not in any particular order. So some flowers are inside, some are outside, some petals are partially inside, some are completely inside. So there is overlapping in also there is also overlapping in the imbricate, but it is not in any particular order. So there is no order seen here. In twisted we have a order, one over the other. Okay, but imbricate there is no order. For example, if you see this one petal, it is inside the both of these petals. Okay, in both of the above petals. Okay, so imbricate there is no order. Okay, cassia and gulmohar. In vexillary, I have already drawn vexillary here. This is the axillary. In vexillary, there are three petals or sepals. The largest one is called as standard. Then we have wings, and the smallest one are called as keel. So these are the vexillary. Okay, seen in P and B. So these are the estimation examples are very important. You have to learn it. Now coming to fruit. So we have now fruit. Okay. Since we are studying morphology of flowering plant, or flowering plant means the plant that has flowers, and the only plants those bear flower are the plants that have fruits. So you can also say that angiosperms are flowering plant as well as fruiting plants only, except angiosperms are the only one those produce flower and fruit only. Okay, so talking about fruit now, different fruits have different name. For example, the fruit of mango and coconut is called as drupe. The word drupe is basically used for those fruits who develop from monocarpellary. Means the flower that has single carpel. That's why we call this monocarpellary. So drupe develops from a flower which have a single carpel and superior ovary. So the fruit that develops from monocarpellary superior ovary is called as drupe. Okay. Now, wall of fruit is called as pericarp, and it is made of basically three layers: epicarp, mesocarp, and endocarp. The epicarp is the outermost one, and mesocarp is the middle one, and endocarp is the innermost one. Okay. Now, fruits generally they are formed after the fertilization, but there are many cases where fruits are formed without fertilization. So, if the fruit is formed without fertilization, that fruit is called as parthenocarpic fruit. Generally, the parthenocarpic fruits are seedless, and here example are banana. Okay, so generally, what happens? The parthenocarpic fruits they are formed without fertilization, and they are seedless. There is no seed in them. Okay. Now coming to placentation. Placentation is basically arrangement of ovules within ovary. This is known as placentation. So we are seeing the arrangement of ovules inside the ovary. Okay. So we should have studied this topic first before the fruit, but that's okay. So we are seeing arrangement of ovules within the ovary. There are many type of placentation. The first is marginal, which is C in P. Here uh, the ovules are arranged on margin of the ovary. So you have already seen P. Okay, the beans of P is kind of like this. Okay, this is the margin where the ovules are produced. Since ovules after fertilization and after maturing, the ovules become seed. Okay, that's why we are saying that in the pea plant you have seen peas, and you have already seen that on the margin the pea seeds are there. Okay, these seeds are basically they were ovule at a time. Okay, so ovules after some time they mature and they become seed. Okay, so in marginal placentation the ovules are arranged on the margin. Okay, so it is seen in pea. And axial placentation, which is seen in lemon, china rose and tomato. In this type of placentation, axial I am showing you here. Let's zoom a little bit here. In axial placentation it is like something like this. If you cut down a lemon in half, take a lemon and cut it in half, you will see something like this is inside the lemon, and the ovules, or you can say the seed of the lemon, are arranged on this placenta. Okay, this is called as this thing is called as placenta. These lines I have drawn, it is placenta. This is the placenta. Okay, so ovules are on the placenta. So this is what we call as axial placentation. Okay, in parietal placentation, mustard and argemone are the examples, and it is something like this. So parietal I am drawing here. So this is basically the fruit. In fruit, you will see this part on the periphery there will be placenta, and the ovules are arranged here, something like this. Okay, this is what we call as parietal placentation. It is found in mustard and argemone. Free central placentation is found in dianthus and primrose. In free central, the ovules are arranged in the center, something like this. So this is the free central. And in basal placentation, which is seen in sunflower and marigold, the ovules are at the, basically you can say, at the base uh, of the seed. If you draw in sunflower, the basal presentation, if you draw, it is something like this, like, okay, something like this. It's not the exact figure, actually it is very much different from the original one, but it is something like this. Okay, in the basal presentation is something kind of like this. Okay, so these are all the presentation, and it shows the arrangement of ovules, or ovules they develop into seeds, so you can see the seed and tell about the presentation. Okay, okay, here one thing I also want to clear, that as ovules develop into the seed, the ovary is the part which develops into fruit. Okay, fruits are basically ripened ovary. So when ovary becomes ripened, or you can say when ovary becomes mature, it is basically fruit. Okay, now coming to seed. So as I have said already that seed are formed from ovule. Seed have two parts, embryo and seed coat. Seed coat has two layers, testa, which is outer layer of the seed coat, and tegment, which is inner layer of the seed coat. There are two types of seed we have to study. Dicot seed, which we have already studied the dicot seed at the start of the lecture. We have taken example here, gram seed. We have gram seed here. And if you see gram seed, it looks something like this. There is a pore on the gram seed which we call as hilum, and there is the pore is called as micropyle. Hilum is the place where the seed was attached to the plant. Okay, so micropyle is a small pore which is useful for transfer of gases and water inside and outside of the seed. Okay, now if you split this seed of the gram, you will find two parts. This and this part is called as cotyledon. Since there are two cotyledon, that's why it is called as dicot seed. Now the middle thing is called embryonal axis, as I have already told you, and the lower part of the embryonal axis is called radicle, which basically develops, gives rise to the root, and the upper part of the embryonal axis is called plumule, which gives rise to the shoot. Okay, so so roots are formed from radicle, and shoots are formed from plumule. Okay, now monocot seed coming to, since the name suggests as mono means one and cot means here cotyledon, so there will be one cotyledon which is called as scutellum. So scutellum is a cotyledon of monocot seed, and it is shield shaped cotyledon. It is the shape of this cotyledon is a shield shape. Okay, in monocot there is the single cotyledon, which is basically this part as you have seen. Okay, The work of the cotyledon is to provide nutrition to the seed. Okay, this is the work of the cotyledon. Apart from the cotyledon, in monocot seed, you will see also a layer called aileron layer, which is made up of protein, and it is, as you can see, it is a side by side layer. This is the aileron layer. Okay, inside the aileron layer, endosperm is filled. Endosperm. This is endospermic seed. Okay, and we have plumule and radicle here. Also in monocots, the plumule is covered, and the covering of plumule is called coleoptile. Okay, radicle is also covered, and the covering of radicle is called coleorhiza. So this is the structure of the plumule and radicle here, which is quite different from the dicot seed. Okay, so this is the structure of monocot seed. Coming to the families. So uh, as you know that there are a lot of changes in the family, so we are not going to study family from here. Okay, we are not going to study family from here. We are coming to uh, a different PDF that I made for especially for the families, because it bothers you all, and I have made family very easy in that, and we are coming to this. Okay, now we have come to an important part of the chapter, that is families. And here the one thing important I want to tell you about is syllabus. See, if you are a student of a class 11th and you are watching this video only for class 11th, then you have to study only two family, Solanaceae and Brassicaceae. And even Solanaceae and Brassicaceae, out of Solanaceae and Brassicaceae, the only family you have to study in detail is the Solanaceae. And Brassicaceae we have to study a little bit, a short form of Brassicaceae. Okay, so if you are watching this video only for class 11th and not for NEET exam, only for class 11th, then you have to study only two families, Solanaceae and Brassicaceae. But if you are watching this video for NEET exam, then you have to study all the families, about 5 families that we are going to study here. Okay, so for class 11th only Solanaceae and Brassicaceae, and that's why we are going to start the Solanaceae and Brassicaceae family first, because if you are in class 11th you can watch these two families and then you can leave the video. Okay, but if you are and if you are preparing for NEET exam, then you have to study all the families. Now in a family, the most important thing about a family when you study a plant family is the floral formula, which is basically this part of this part. This is the floral formula of the family. This is very important about every family. You have to study the floral formula because it tells all about the family. And to understand the floral formula, you have to study these symbols. Okay, so first thing we are going to study is the symbols which are given here. So these are the symbols that were given, and first we study the symbol, then we will come to the family. Now this plus sign in the circle shows actinomorphic or radial symmetry. Percentage sign shows zygomorphic or bilateral symmetry. Okay, the K sign shows calyx and unit of calyx is sepal. So if you write K and 5 here subscript in a subscript form, in a small form. So if you write K5, this means the calyx have 5 units, or you can say the calyx have 5 sepals. So there are 5 sepals in the flower. Okay. Similarly, C represents corolla, and the unit of corolla is petals. So if you write C5, that means there are 5 petals in the flower. Okay. When you written A represents androecium, and the unit of androecium is stamen. So if you write A5, that means there are 5 stamen. When you write G represents gynoecium, and unit of gynoecium is obviously pistil or carpel. So if you write G5, that means there are 5 pistil or 5 carpel in the flower. Okay, so these are the basic terms. Now, if they you see this C and C and A are connected by a bridge. This is the bridge that connects C and A. Now C represent petals and A represent stamen, and you have already studied that when stamen is joined by petal, it is called as epipetalous condition. So this is the epipetalous condition shown here, where C and A are joined to each other. Now if you write if you see written P means perianth, or where sepal and petal are joined to each other, where the sepals and petals are fused to each other, we call that as perianth. Unit of perianth is called as stepal. So when sepal and petal fuse, we do not say that this is a fusion of sepal and petal, we basically say this is a tepal, okay, which is basically a fusion of sepal and petal. Okay, now BR represent bract, on the basis of which I have already told you there are two types of flower, bracteate and abracteate. Bract is the small leaf like structure, okay, found in the base of the flower. EPI represent apicalyx. Now, there are small green leaf-like structure outside calyx, and these are known as apicalyx. Okay. So this is the terms that we can see when we see X and written 4 here. X can be anything here, K, C, A or G. Okay. So if you see X and written 4 here in the subscript, we should know that there are 4 in number. For example, if you write K5, K4, so there are 4 sepals in number and they are separate. Okay, they are not fused to each other, they are separate. If we write X and 4 in the bracket, so the number is the 4 still, but they are fused to each other. So they are joined to each other, they are fused to each other. Similarly, if we write X 2 and plus 2, now this 2 is outside bracket, so there is no fusion here. So there are total 4 in number and 2 is not fused, but other 2 is fused. Also, when we write 2 plus 2, this means there are 2 groups of the petals or sepals or endoecium, gynoecium, whatever it's at. Okay, you can write calyx, corolla, endoecium, gynoecium in the place of X here. X is an example. So, okay, X does not mean anything. X here is just an example. Now, also you will see gynoecium of 3 types. When G is written above a line, it is we will call it as superior ovary. When G is written and line is drawn just on the side of G, we will call it the ovary to be half inferior and half superior. Okay, when G is written below the line, we call it the ovary is inferior. Okay, which is obviously very easy to see. Okay, now we will come to the Solanaceae family first. Solanaceae. Solanaceae. So Solanaceae is a family of dicot family. It is also called as potato family. The scientific name of potato is Solanum tuberosum. So you can see the name of the family in the scientific name. Okay, Solanum tuberosum. Solanum is the genus of the potato, not the family, but you can understand. Okay, so it is a dicot family. It is also called as potato family. The leaf here shows alternate phyllotaxy. So there is one leaf arising from one node only. They are simple and rarely pinnately compound leaf. Okay, and they are X stipulate. The X stipulate term means there is no stipule. Stipule is not present. Okay, so that's why we call it this as X stipulate. And volvate estivation is seen in the flowers. Okay, now coming to most important point, the floral formula. So percentage means it is radially symmetrical. Flower is the radially symmetrical, or you can say actinomorphic flower. Okay. This sign, okay, this sign I did not tell you about. This represents male. This arrow on a circle represents male, and this plus sign on a circle represents female. Now, wherever there is male and female present in same body, we will write this at like this. So this represents bisexual condition. Okay, when both male and female are present on the same plant. Okay, so in Solanaceae bisexual condition is found, both male and female flowers are present. Okay, now K5, so there are 5 sepals and they are in the bracket, so they are fused to each other. Okay, C5, so there are 5 petals and 5 petals are also fused to each other. There are 5 endoecium which are separate to each other, and since C and A have a bridge, so epipetalous condition is seen here. Okay, now gynoecium is superior, there is superior ovary, and there is 2 gynoecium, 2 carpel or 2 pistil which are fused to each other since there is bracket. Okay, so this is the all the information that you can get from just looking at the floral formula. Now if you take the NCERT, all these things are written in form of lines in paragraph, and you will find it very hard to study and very hard to remember. But if you remember this, just study the floral formula, it will be very easy. Okay, now on the basis of floral formula, we make floral diagram. Here you can see floral diagram. The center part shows gynoecium, ovary. This red colored thing, this is one gynoecium, and the other this is second gynoecium. So there are 2 gynoecium. Okay, out of when you come out of the gynoecium, you say these like bones type of structure. These are the 5 stamen that are found. Okay, Now, when you come out of stamen, we come to C, or you can say petals. So this is the petals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And since there is a bridge between the petals, okay, this shows that all the petals are fused to each other. Otherwise, they will be separate. Okay, there will be no bridge, this kind of bridge seen here. Now, one thing you also said that C and A are joined. Okay, petals and stamen are joined. So this line, sorry, this line shows that endoecium and petals are joined to each other. Now, when you come out of the C or petals, you come to K or sepals. Now, there are 5 sepals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they are joined to each other. That's why there is a bridge present between each of them. Okay, so they are joined to each other. So this floral diagram, basically you can draw these floral diagram just by looking at the floral formula. Okay, now coming to example, which is very important because most of the question come on the basis of example. Food, if you talk about the members of Solanaceae which provide food, we have tomato, potato, and brinjal. Spice, we have chili. Medicine, belladonna and ashwagandha. Fumigatory, or you can say the plants which are smoked basically. So we have tobacco, also comes from the Solanaceae family, and ornamental, which we use to decorate our houses. Here, petunia. Petunia is a ornamental. So this is all about Solanaceae family. Same things that you will study here, you will study in the NCERT, but they will be written in form of paragraph. Okay, like this. But we will study in form of floral diagram and floral formula. Okay. So after Solanaceae, let's come to Brassicaceae first. The term Brassicaceae is also this family is also known as Cruciferae. It is called also called as mustard family, and it is also a dicot family. Okay, we have floral formula here. So it is actinomorphic, bisexual. Calyx or sepals are in bundles of 2, 2 plus 2. Okay, there are 2 bundles, 2 plus 2. So there are 4 total sepals. And corolla or petals are 4 total, and they are not joined to each other, they are separate since there is no bracket. Endoecium is also present in 2 bundles. One is this of the 2 stamen, and 1 bundle of 4 stamen. Okay, gynoecium is superior ovary and 2 gynoecium, and there is bracket, so they are fused to each other. Now coming to examples. First, before example, let's study the let's look a bit on the floral diagram. So this is the floral diagram. Since gynoecium or ovary, sorry, is carpel or pistil is 2. These are the red color things. These are the 2 carpels. Okay. Out of carpel, you can see A 2 plus 4. A is the endoecium. So this is one group which is outside, and this is the 4 group which is the 4 stamen which are inside. So there are 2 groups. The group of 2 is outside, and the group of 4 is the inside one. Okay, so endoecium, there is total 6 endoecium. Now coming to corolla, or you can say petals. So petals, there are 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, total 4 petals, and K is 2 plus 2. So 2 is inside, these 2 are inside, and these 2 sepals are outside. So that's why 2 plus 2. And this point is generally known as mother axis, which we do not require to study about. Okay, so now coming to example: cabbage, turnip, cauliflower, mustard, and radish. These are the examples of Brassicaceae or Cruciferae family. Now class 11th students can leave the video now, because the class 11th portion is all done. Okay, now all the other families are just for NEET students only. So for NEET students, we have first family here, Malvaceae. The Malvaceae is monocot family. There are the plants are monocotyledonous, and the leaf has alternate phyllotaxy, estivation. If you talk about calyx, there is velvet estivation in the calyx. In corolla, twisted estivation is found. Persistent calyx. What is persistent calyx? Basically, you can see here. Persistence means that which survives, okay, for a long time. So calyx here does not fall off even when the flower becomes into the fruit. So this is the fruit. The bhindi or the okra is basically a fruit. So whenever flower changes into fruit, basically ovary changes into fruit, the the appendages on the flower, the such like calyx, corolla, they fall off. Okay, they fall off. But here the calyx is persistent, so you can always see the calyx in the fruits also. So this is the point of persistent calyx. Okay, let's zoom a little. The fruits, sorry, the fruits have locules, and you can see the fruit of the okra or bhindi. You can see there is five or six different, or like four different uh, partitions drawn inside the fruit. So that's why we call that fruits have locules. Okay, the fruits have basically rooms made in it. Okay, now coming to the most important point, floral formula. Br, that's why we call as bracteate. Okay, the Br represents basically bracteate. This plus sign represent actinomorphic flower, bisexual flower, epicalyx is present, 3 to 7 epicalyx is present. Calyx is total 5, and since there is bracket, so these are fused sepals. Corolla or petals are 5 and they are not fused. Androecium can be infinite or in many large numbers. So not exactly infinite, but there are many large numbers of stamens. Okay. Now C and A are joined. So epipetalous condition, superior ovary, which is 5 to infinite. Okay, this is the all about Malvaceae, and we have examples, obviously very important: okra, cotton, China rose, which is also known as hibiscus, and cacao, which gives us chocolate. Cacao is the name of the plant, okay, which gives us the chocolate. Compositae or Asteraceae family. The name suggests that star-like structure will be seen in the family, and you can always see this beautiful flower, the sunflower. Okay, looks like a star. Now, what is stipule? I have written here. This is, let's see, this is the stem, and out of stem, this is the leaf attached, and between stem and leaf there are some leaf like structure which are called as stipule. Okay, now coming to the compository or Asteraceae family, it is a dicot family. It is also called as sunflower or daisy family. The leaf is alternate phyllotaxy, simple leaves are found, and X stipulate, that is there are no stipules found here. Okay, coming to flower. Now there is two floral formula you have to learn here, because there are two types of flower here. The middle one, this part, the middle one, or this part which I am shading here, this is called as disc floret, because this is the part where many small flowers are found, and these are arranged in form of a disc. Now outside these are also different types of flowers, which is known as ray flower. So there are two types of flower here, है ना? There is ray floret and disc floret. Now these are different types of flower. The word floret basically just means you can say that very small flowers or very less developed flowers. Okay, so there is ray floret in the outside, just like rays of a sun, and there is disc floret inside, that is just like a kind of disc. Okay, so now ray floret have different floral formula, and disc floret has different. Coming to ray floret, they are bracteate, they are zygomorphic, or you can say bilateral symmetrical. They are only male female flower present. Okay, so they have only female flowers. Okay, now calyx is P. Now this is one thing very important here. P, calyx is P. Here P is represent is basically pappus. Now what is mean by pappus? It is mean by it means that hair like calyx is present, or you can say what is the unit of calyx? It is sepal. So hair like sepals are present, as you can say the as you can see the figure here. Okay, in this figure you see that there are many hair like sepals, something like this, are present. So this is what we call as pappus. Okay, so that's why we here did not we did not here write any number. We just write an kp, or the sepals are in pappus form. Okay, now corolla or petals are 5 and they are fused to each other. Androecium is 0, obviously, because ray floret is only female flowers. Okay, there is no male flower, that's why androecium is male sex organ. So if there is only female flower, there will be no male sex organ. Okay, so that's why androecium is 0. There the gynoecium is inferior or inferior ovary, and two carpel is present, which are joined to each other. Coming to disc floret, they are also bracteate, however they are actinomorphic. Okay, and they are bisexual. Now here also calyx is in the form of pappus, and C and A is obviously joined because epipetalous condition is found here, and there is 5 uh, petals, and these are fused to each other, and 5 stamen which are also fused to each other. Inferior ovary 2 which are also fused to each other. Okay. Now the inflorescence in Asteraceae or compositive family is a special kind of inflorescence which is not given in NCERT, but you have to study. It is called as capitulum inflorescence. Okay, capitulum inflorescence we call this, and this is basically arrangement of flowers in 2 different forms. So smaller flowers are arranged here. These are the smaller flowers. Okay, these black lines. These are smaller flowers. They are arranged here inside the flower, on the inner side of the flower, and larger flowers are arranged something like this, which are these yellow lines. These are the larger flowers. Okay, this is what we call as capitulum inflorescence. So in Asteraceae family, capitulum inflorescence is found. Okay, so this is all family. And coming to examples, we have, just a second, coming to examples, we have lettuce, sunflower, obviously daisy, and marigold. Daisy, you have seen this kind of flowers there are present in daisy, which is also uh, kind of look like sunflower. Okay, so this was the compositive family. Coming to poaceae. Now coming to poaceae family, which is also known as Gramini family. Okay, so this is family of a grass. Basically, this is also called grass family. So all grasses are in this, including bamboo, which is also a grass. Okay, these are family of monocots. As you know, all grasses are monocot. The leaf here is surely have parallel venation, because we have already studied that all monocots have parallel venation in their leaf. And alternate phyllotaxy is found. Okay, inflorescence is also here as a special type of inflorescence called spikes of spikelet. It is something like this. You have already you must have seen this in the wheat plant. The wheat seed of wheat comes in these small packets, which are called as spikelets, and this whole thing is called as spike. Okay, so that's why we call this as spikes of spikelet. This figure you have seen in the in the crop fields of the wheat. Yeah, if you live in an area that obviously shows agriculture, and if you live on the 100th floor, you might not have seen that, but that's okay. So you have to learn that inflorescence here is spikes of spikelet. Coming to the floral formula, we have bracket present here percentage because zygomorphic condition. And P2, the P2 reason it says P2 because obviously the perianth is found here. Perianth, or you can say tepals are found here. There is no petals and sepals, only tepals are found here. Okay, there is 3 androecium, superior ovary obviously, and 1 ovary is found. The floral diagram here is not very important. You just have to remember its face like this, that it is something like this, but do not try to read it, because some points you have to understand on a higher level to get this diagram. So I do not recommend studying it. Also, it will not like I have 99.9% uh, confidence that this will not be asked in the NEET exam. Okay, so don't try to remember this diagram. Okay, just remember the floral formula, do not go to diagram. Okay, now coming to examples, we have all type of grasses: dhoop grass, we have bamboo, we have lemongrass, which gives us lemongrass oil, and we have cereals like maize, jowar, bajra, rice, wheat, barley. Okay, we have sugar, which gives us sugarcane. So these are come from the Gramini or Poaceae family. Solanaceae we have already studied. This is the last family, I think. Okay, yeah, Brassicaceae we have already studied. This is the last family we have to study. Leguminosae, which is also known as Fabaceae. Fabaceae was already in our syllabus in the last year, but it is removed now, so it's for NEET aspirants only. So this is dicot family, and these the plants of this family have root nodules present. Now, what are these root nodules? If you take a plant of this family, Leguminosae, and if you observe the roots of that plant, you will see this this swollen type of structures. Okay, so these are the root nodules. These are present in the roots of the Leguminosae or Fabaceae family plants. Leaf alternate phyllotaxy and simple or pinnate compound leaf, and have pulvinous leaf base. What is pulvinous? The pulvinous leaf base basically already we have studied. Okay, this that the leaf base is swollen. As you can say, the leaf base is swollen. So this swollen leaf base is called as pulvinous leaf base. Coming to estivation, volvate or imbricate estivation can be seen in the family. Now, floral formula: zygomorphic, bisexual, calyx total 5, or you can say not calyx 5, you have to say sepals are 5 and they are joined, so gamosepalous condition. Okay, C, that is corolla, is present in three different bundle, 1, 2 and 2. Okay, the last bundle is joined to each other, last two sepals are joined to each other, others are free. Okay, androecium, we have total 10 androecium, 9 in one and 1 in other bundle. So 9 and plus 1, 2 bundles, one of 9 and one of single. Okay, superior ovary is present and one. Also, you can see all these features in the floral diagram here. This is the gynoecium, which is basically superior ovary. 9 stamen are present with joined to each other, which are joined to each other, and one is present in the solitude, or one is in the alone. Okay, now C is 1 plus 2 plus 2. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 2, which is joined to each other. That's why the last 2 is in the bracket here. Okay, because the last 2, these 2 are joined to each other. You can see from this. Okay, total 5 sepals are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are joined to each other. That's why the bracket. Okay, so all these things you can see from that. From the floral formula we can tell a lot about a flower. Okay, now coming to the examples, we have soyabean, arahar, moong, gram, same, indigofera, susbania, mulethi, sweet pea, and obviously gram I have written twice. Okay, now one thing also I want to say, that gram is not from gramini family. Sometimes you say gramini family and you take that gram is from the gramini family. Okay, gramini family is the family of grasses. However, gram is kind of a pulse. All the pulses you see arhar, okay, it's kind of a pulse. And then moong, we have soybean, same. Okay, all kinds of pulses come from the fabaceae family. Okay, brassicaceae we have already discussed. These are the extra topics that are added in the NEET syllabus that are not present in NCERT. We do not need to study those. Okay, in this chapter for now. So these were all the families: Malvaceae, Compositae, Poaceae, Solanaceae, Leguminosae, and Brassicaceae. Out of this, Brassicaceae and Solanaceae is for the class 11th students, and others, including Brassicaceae and family, are if you are NEET student, you have to study all of them. Okay, so this was the last thing that you have to study in this chapter, and with this we have completed the chapter. And whatever, if you have any doubt for this from this chapter, you can ask in the comments, and I will try to answer them as fast as can. Also, if you have a if you want to give suggestions on improving the video, suggestions are also welcome. And pardon my English, it's not my first language, so it's not perfect. Okay, we will meet in the next video. Till then, have fun and bye.